All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 794 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Barlow. We talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today we're going to talk about what the Falcons possibly going to do in the draft. There's some bettors out there in Vegas saying that the Falcons are going to go after Latu out of UCLA with the number 8 pick. And I feel like this. If they're going to go after Latu, they can easily trade down and still get this guy. I think this is a guy that they can actually pick up later if they move back to number 12, maybe 13, and still get some more draft capital and make some noise furthering the team. I think this is something that they should be able to do. And the more I think about it, I think this may be a really good pick for the Falcons. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, I'm going to get it out of the way now. I want to talk about Georgia Southern a little bit. I like what I saw in the spring game. I talked about this on my video recently that's on YouTube and Rumble, that I am glad that the Georgia Southern Eagles are in a pretty solid space. The quarterback play looked good. The defense looked good. The offense overall looked good. The team doesn't show any glaring concerns, so I'm actually happy watching them go further into the offseason and getting ready for the new season. I think they're in a really good space. So shout out to Coach Clay Helton and the Georgia Southern Eagles. Let's get back to the Falcons. Let's talk about this. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can follow me on X at VF Baller. The website is firstandframerace.com. I don't know too much about the website. I've been working on it. I'm debating if I'm going to keep it. So if it's there, cool. Over there, you can basically get all the episodes of the podcast and a little bit of extra stuff. But I advise you guys to really go to Rumble and follow me on Rumble. Over there, we do content that don't really make it to the YouTubes and Spotify or the Apple Podcast. So hopefully you guys will check that out. I really would appreciate it. Let's get into this. Let's just get into this, because I feel that with Latu, you got a guy at 6'5" at 265. Very athletic. I mean, you talking about a guy who his stat sheets look really, really good. I mean, I like the stats on him. We're going to talk about that in a second. And with him being on the opposite side of Arnold Ebiketie, you're going to have a situation where the front seven is just going to continuously be aggressive. You already got Grady Jarrett coming back from his injury. You still got Arnold Ebiketie. You got Zach Harrison. You got a couple other guys that could play. I think Kentavious Street is back. Let's talk about that front seven. As far as the linebackers, I mean, the linebackers, I think we did really good. Troy Anderson, Nate Landman, Caden Ellis. I didn't even talk about Adamaya on the defensive line. We have a really good line right here and really good front seven. So adding a lot to will be great. And if you can get him by moving back from number 8 and actually getting more draft picks, that will be really cool. Now, what I will say, what would it take to do that? Well, I will say this. This is what the Falcons should do. If they have a team that wants a quarterback and a quarterback is available, I think this would be a no-brainer. Because with a quarterback, you could probably get more out of that team. Or even if it's one of the wide receivers that a team would want. If they want to move up to number 8, let's say if they're moving up all the way to, let's say, if they're moving up from the 20s or the late teens up, you can probably get another first-round pick. Or you can get a situation where if they're moving from, let's say, 13 to 12, you can get a second-round pick in the draft and in this year's draft, and that will help you get more draft capital. If you move back to, let's say, from 8 to, let's say, 19 or 18, you're going to be getting some draft capital. Boy, with that being said, you're probably going to be going after Jared Verse or what the case may be, because I think at that point, Latu will probably be gone and Verse maybe still be there. And Dallas Turner will probably be going as well. So if you're going to make that move, that'll be a little risky. I just think, like, if you're at number 8, you may want to move back no further than 12. Get Latu, get another second-round pick. So you have maybe like a 43 and a 49 on top of 2 third-round picks. You're going to be sitting pretty in the draft, because now you're going to be getting some top players, some high-value players in that area where, the mid-teens of the draft or the early, before the pre-teens of the draft, and then you turn right back around and you're going to get, let's say, for instance, a 43, 49, then 2 third-round picks, and then the 4th round. you're going to come away with maybe like 4 or 5 guys. That's possible. You have the potential to come back with about 4 or 5 guys that could contribute to the team right away. And the last time that happened, we went to the Super Bowl. I mean, we had like 3 or 4 rookies that came out and just played good ball, and we ended up going to the Super Bowl, and we know how that happened. But I think this go round, if you get into a situation where you're one of the best teams in the NFC, you have a shot. You get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And once you're in the playoffs, all you gotta do is just play your game. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the Super Bowl. So all this stuff talking about that you don't want to go to the playoffs and be a type of player that, a type of team that's one and done, you got to get there first, guys. I mean, that's just how it is. Now, I know there's some things about Kirk Cousins that people are kind of worried about. The Achilles, coming back from that. How does that work? I understand it, and I'm not sitting here saying that it's nothing to worry about. But based on the way things are going, it seems like it's moving well, seems like it's going good. And if there's more of an issue with that, you got 2 running backs, and we can possibly take some draft picks or take a draft pick to help beef up the line. I mean, the line is not that bad when it comes to run blocking, but the pass blocking is okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. But when you have a quarterback like this who can get the ball out quickly, and you got weapons like we have, I think it's just going to bode well. So on top of what we have defensively, put the top or whatever we can possibly get, if we get Latu at number 13 or whatever the case may be, we can still have more draft picks to move, even move around, or just get the players that we want to continue to solidify the rest of the team, whether it be another corner, whether it be another safety, maybe a wide receiver number 2, even if it would be an offensive lineman. It's like the needs are there, but the needs aren't something that we have to get like the best player at every position. I think obviously if you're in the first round, you have you basically have the opportunity to get the best player at the position. Yeah, you take that. And a lot of people are starting to say Latu, his draft status is moving up really fast for him to possibly be taken at number 8. Like I said, I don't know if any other teams are actually pursuing that. A lot of people have Latu going in the mid to late first round. And like I said, if that's the case, man, Falcons, if they know, more about what other teams want, you can move back 4 or 5 spaces and still get the same guy. And even if you don't get him, I don't think Dallas Turner and Jared Verse, all 3 of them will be gone by 13 or by 11 or by 12. I don't see all 3 of them be gone by then. So even if you do end up with a Verse or Turner, you're still winning. But you just take that gamble when you do move back and you get more draft capital and you do get one of these guys, you still have the extra pick. So it does work out to an extent. So I'm really excited for this. This is a good problem to have. I know at one point I was a really big person that wanted to get Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels. I wanted to get our franchise quarterback. We ended up going to get Kirk Cousins, see how that goes. All right, now we need a receiver. But we end up picking up 3 receivers actually. We end up picking up 3 receivers in free agency. So I don't know what they're going to do there. One thing that was not necessarily addressed was the defensive line. We do need help on the defensive line. Calais Campbell, we don't know if he's coming back. And to be honest, you get a guy to come in there at 6'5", 265 like Latu. I mean, are you really, what are we doing here? And in the way the world isn't on his shoulders. You got to understand, this team was on the cusp of being the NFC South champ. We were literally like an interception away of possibly taking over that game. If Desmond Ridder don't throw that interception in the third quarter, this could have been a totally different game. But Desmond Ridder's in Arizona. Best of luck to him. But it's just what I'm saying is like we were in a situation to where we were just that close. You bring other guys in here that can take care of the football and help us stop other teams from moving the football, we're going to be in good shape. And like I said, a guy like Latu on the opposite side of Arnold Ebiketie, you rotate those guys out with Zach Harrison. You bring in Anyamata and Grady Jarrett there. The front 7 looks very good. I'm serious. I think this front 7 is probably one of the best in the NFC South, if not the best in the NFC South. Well, I meant to say one of the best in the NFC, and probably the best in the NFC South. it's just that good, man. I mean, you look at Landman, you look at Anderson, you look at Caden Ellis. I mean, what do we got here? Then on top of that, even in the second to third round, if you don't get Ladd McConkey, which a lot of people saying that could be a possibility as well, you can get Caden Ellis' little brother that looks just as good. I don't know his numbers, so I don't have the stats in front of me, but I feel like that will be another really good pickup. You know, I mean, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see real quick. I want to. Oh, all right. Let's see. Caden Ellis' brother, Noah Ellis. Is that him right there? All right. Let's see if I can get some stats on Caden Ellis. Oh, that's Caden Ellis. Let me see if I can get some on this. But like I said, his brother is really good. Is it Noah Ellis? No. It's Jonah Ellis. There it is. Jonah Ellis from the University of Utah. Sorry for the wait. Let's see. What does his stats look like? Coming out of college right now, 2023, he has 37 total tackles, 16 tackles for loss. I mean, I think that looks pretty good there. I mean, I don't see he has any sacks, which is actually interesting. But you bring a guy like that along with Latu. Like I said, Latu has 34? No, 34. No, I'm sorry. He has 23 sacks in the last 2 years. And almost 80 tackles. You put that two together. I mean, what are you talking about here? I mean, you're talking about Ellis brothers, Latu, Grady Jarrett, Anyamata, AK-47. I mean, come on, man. I mean, and I haven't even talked about the secondary yet. So it's like there's a lot here that the Falcons could do. And I feel like they're in a really good position to make something happen. I would love for them to make the most of whatever they find if they do decide to go after Latu. Because if they go after him, they don't have. I believe they don't have to get him at number 8. They could trade down. They literally could trade down and get him at a later spot and get another draft pick so we can get like a Jonah Ellis. I think that's his name, not Noah, but Jonah Ellis. You could get him, or you could get another corner, or you could just get another piece that's going to help this team win. It's really a good thing, a good problem to have. And I'm here for it. I am really, really excited the more I think about this. Because at first, like I said, I was on the quarterback train, the receiver train. I just want to get somebody more dynamic. And I know that's how the Falcons feel. The Falcons like to get the best player available. But as of right now, these guys, the Falcons really need a pass rush or a type of guy who don't mind getting at the quarterback. And you got a guy here who's had 10.5 sacks in 2022 and had 13 sacks in 2023, and a guy that already had over, let's say over 80 tackles in the last 2 seasons. I mean, when you look at that, I mean, plus he has 2 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. You're looking at a ball hawk right there. Now, I know Dallas Turner is another guy, and like I said, Jarrett Verse is another guy, and you could basically switch these guys out to be the impact player that you want them to be. But I think with Latu, if that's your guy, I think he's the only one you could probably trade back for. Maybe Jarrett Verse. Dallas Turner's probably going to be gone if you don't get him at 8. But I do believe Latu, you can get him a little bit later. Jarrett Verse is probably another one that you can get a little bit later as well. But I think, the more I think about it, standing at 6'5", 625, he may be the guy. I'm not on the bandwagon for sure, but I can see where this could be going. And with that being said, you get more draft picks and you can get more guys that could be on defense that could really help. So that works out at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. I am on YouTube and Rumble. Follow me on either one of those platforms, preferably both. I'm on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you can't watch the show, you can listen to it on those avenues. Also, follow me on X at VFBaller. The website is firstandframerates.com. And I'm not sure about the website. I'm still debating if I'm going to hold on to it. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure on it, but we'll see. Nevertheless, I'll see you guys on the next one because I will be making more content about the draft because it's upcoming in a few days. And we'll talk, man. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.